officials who were criticised by the Royal Commission into robo-debt. The inquiry's final report referred a number of public servants for further investigation. But the Anti-Corruption Commission says it's unlikely to uncover any new evidence, arguing it wouldn't be in the public interest to establish a new probe. A man has been arrested after police found drugs, a meth lab and $1 million worth of stolen property at an address in Burton. The haul includes vehicles, tools, safes, earth-moving equipment, horse buggies and shipping containers. Chief Inspector Andrew McCracken says they're now trying to return the stolen items to their owners.
Due to the vast volume of property, the police are currently doing a search in groups methodically to thoroughly investigate and try and locate owners of property. We're asking anyone who may have lost or had a shipping container stolen from anywhere to contact Crime Stoppers so we can try and reunite them and bring some property back to the community.
The 41-year-old Burton man has been charged with drug trafficking, possessing prescribed equipment, theft and unlawful possession, and will face court today. The government and opposition have paid tribute to the thousands of Allied troops, including Australians, who served in the D-Day landings 80 years ago. Commemorations are being held around the world to mark the anniversary. The military invasion saw more than 100,000 people storm the beaches of Normandy in what was then Nazi-occupied France. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese telling Parliament it was a pivotal moment.
Rarely has a shore been as faithful as the Normandy coast was on that day. As General Eisenhower told them, the eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. They carried those hopes and prayers across sky and sea.
Growers are concerned as one of the country's largest food processors plans to slash canned fruit production. Victorian-based SPC telling suppliers it's cutting pear and peach intake by almost 40% as shoppers turn to cheaper imported foods. And Donald Trump has restated his claim he'll jail his enemies if he's re-elected. In an interview, he says it's something that's going to have to happen to them because they're leading America down a terrible path. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Change the way you Hyundai at Wayville Hyundai. Minutes from the city, opposite the showground, driven by Australian Motors.
It's game day for the Crows. They face Richmond at Adelaide Oval tonight. Gates open at 5. The game starts at 7. It will also be live on 5AA. Well, Port have the bye this weekend. It's been time to regroup and conduct a mid-season review. Footy boss Chris Davies pretty pleased with their first 12 rounds in 2024.
Our first half of the year has been reasonable. I can't imagine that too many people would have had us in any other position that we are. We've beaten the team above us. We've beaten a couple of teams below us. We sit pretty well. This whole idea that week to week you're in a situation where you're either good or bad is not quite the case in sport.
Adelaide United has signed promising centre forward Archie Goodwin to a 4-year deal. And tonight the Socceroos meet Bangladesh in a World Cup qualifier at Amy Park. Nestori Irakonda will debut for the national side. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Fulham Gardens, a smash on Tapley's Hill Road near Valletta Road. Really solid delays there. Slow for works at Henley Beach South, Seaview Road near Lexington Road. Busy at Richmond Road near Chambers Avenue. And look out for new road plates in use South Road at Glandore near the Crossroad Overbridge. Speeds at 40, pretty bumpy too. Cameras Grange Road, Grange and Port Road, Adeldinga. You drive home after drinking because you don't care if your missus has to drive you around if you get caught, or your mum might have to identify your body. Yeah, you're selfish. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
At Edwardstown Mazda's EOFY, it's simple with the lowest prices and highest trade-in on your current car.
Partly cloudy this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow 17. Saturday a possible shower 16. Sunday a shower or two clearing 17. Right now it's 15 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, cost of living help for seniors, low-income workers and young families. How the state budget will help you. See the $1 million haul of stolen goods uncovered in Adelaide's north. The push for 5 weeks leave for every South Australian worker. And meet the SA woman celebrating her 110th birthday. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
It is 3 here on 5AA, now live on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream, so jump on and say hi. And the state budget has just been handed down. Very soon you're going to hear from David Pemberthy, who's been in the budget lockup, and he'll break it all down for you. I'm just having a read online on the Advertiser and other news services about what has been announced, because I thought, well, we've already heard a lot. We've already heard about money that's going to be invested in extra policing, money that's invested into making more room in our prisons. We've heard of, we've had lots of announcements this week, and now my mind's gone blank. There have been quite a few big announcements this week and coming out of the budget, and so I thought there wasn't going to be any big news out of it. Yeah, of course, the stamp duty announcement a couple of days ago. All first home buyers will have their stamp duty waived if they're buying new homes. But there has been $266 million in extra funding for cost of living relief. So there's a cost of living relief package that's been announced, and that is, I think that's going to shape up to be the centrepiece of this budget, even after all of those other previous announcements. So anyone who received the cost of living concession payment in the 12 months we've just had, it was a one-off payment, you'll receive it again, is my understanding, and that is also for concession card holders and renters. There's also going to be extra spending for extra cost of living relief for families with 2 school-aged children. The government is saying you'll have $600 in relief. The school sports program vouchers are going to be expanded, and they're now going to cover music lessons as well, which is great because not everyone has a child that's interested in sport. If you've got a child that's more interested in music, that'll be music to your ears. Get it? Get it? See what I did there? $200 you'll get per child per year. So as I say, that cost of living payment was $243.90, and that's going to be paid this month to more than 200,000 concession card holders who received it last year. Tenants and seniors card holders will permanently have their payment doubled at $243.90 now. $200 reduction on school materials. This is all part of this $600 package for families with 2 children. How is the government paying for all of this, I hear you ask? Debt. We're going into more debt. There will be more money borrowed. $44.2 billion. Billion with a B. $44.2 billion by mid-2028. That's a big old credit card that the state government is going to have to find to pay for all of that, but it will be paid off over a number of years. It's a huge figure. So we'll have some reaction for you. You'll hear from David Pemberthy very soon, and then you're going to hear from the key stakeholders this afternoon. We're talking the health unions. These were the unions that helped Labor get elected. The Nurses Union, the AMBOs Union, the SASMOA, the Medical Officers Union, Mental Health Coalition. You'll hear from them about what's in it for them. You'll also hear from the Hotels Association, the Property Council, the Education Union. We're going to all of them. Key stakeholders around the state will ask them 2 questions. What's in it for you and your members? And secondly, are you a winner or a loser? Because I can guarantee as you sit down tonight to watch your 6 o'clock news, or when you wake up in the morning and you pick up the paper and open it up, there's going to be a list of winners and losers. I've worked in a number of newsrooms in my time, and I know it is the specific job of one journo every year to go into that budget lockup and pore through the budget papers, and they decide who's a winner or a loser. But today, I'm getting the stakeholders to tell me if they are a winner or a loser. So that's coming up this afternoon. Also today, I want your calls on anything else we've been talking about on the program here, including this news story out today out of Monash University, that women with a close group of friends are less likely to develop heart disease. If you're a woman and you have 2 or 3 friends in your life, you're less likely to develop heart disease. And if you're a man and you have between 3 and 8 family members in your life, you're also less likely to develop develop heart disease. And I know this can be difficult as we age. You know, when we're at school, primary school, we have different classes and you make friends in your class, and high school, of course, as well. Maybe you then play some school sport or you play some social sport outside of university and the like. But as you get older, it does get harder to make friends. So I'm asking you this afternoon, 8223 0000, how do you make friends as you get older? So I want to get your thoughts on that as well. Here's some callers we had earlier. Father Joan is in North Adelaide. Hi, Father Joan.
It's something I've thought of quite a bit, and because I work a lot with isolated and lonely people, it makes me think a lot about how can I help these people be integrated more in some communities so that they have friends.
Kay is in Woodville. Hi, Kay.
There's a program in the city. Are you aware of the Jam Factory, where the Jam Factory is located?
Oh, yeah.
There's the Mercury Cinema, and it's for over 50s, special very low price movies for seniors. And they have movies morning and afternoon, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Nancy is in Findon. Hi, Nancy.
Well, it's a little bit hard in my situation. 2 years ago, I lost my husband, so I found that after that, you don't really see many friends. Everyone just seems to, I don't know, I can't work it out. I mean, look, I'm lucky I've got my two sisters and my sons and their families, but otherwise, you don't really see your friends. I don't know whether it's because they're a couple and you're on your own. It just seems to fall off. You don't really see anybody. So I've just joined an exercise group.
So there you go. I want to hear from you. How do you make friends as you age? 8223 0000 is the number to call. Or get your thoughts on the budget, the state budget that's been announced today. Mike has sent a text on 044808 1395. How can the government rob Peter to pay Paul? It makes no sense. That's from Mike. But yeah, as I say, just repeating that breaking news, cost of living relief for South Australian families. School sports vouchers are going to be doubled, and they'll also be expanded to music classes, which I think is a great move. Like I said, not all children are into sport. Some of them are more into music, so that's a really good move there. While concession card holders will get a one-off bonus payment. They got this bonus payment last year as well. If you're a concession card holder, you'll know this. You'll get it again, as will renters. So it's been a pretty big budget, pretty big spending budget. Debt is going to increase to $44.2 billion. Yes, with a B. That's by 2028, so that's over the forward estimates. Are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with your debt increasing to a level like that, $44 billion? I'd love to get your thoughts, 8223 0000. And you know what? I've got a set of 2 Temper Ease hug pillows to give away today. So the best caller on the budget this afternoon is going to get 2 Temper Ease hug pillows. Let me know if you're comfortable with this level of debt, and I'll make you comfortable in return with some Temper pillows. So jump on the phone and let me know what you think. David Pemberthy is walking out of state budget lockup as we speak, and as soon as we can get him on the phone, we will have him on the phone to tell you all about it. He'll break it down for you and tell you what else was in the budget today. And then you'll hear from key stakeholder groups as well. Some of the health unions, the Property Council, the Retirement Living Council. You'll hear from them about what they think is in the budget for them, if anything at all. 8223 0000 is the number to call. Lita is in Paraka. Hi, Lita.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me, Stacey?
I can, yes.
Oh, hi. Yeah, look, I've been single for quite some time, and there are just various groups that people can join if they want to meet new people. There's Meetup. Now, Meetup apparently is worldwide. Even in Adelaide, if anybody just Googles Meetup groups in Adelaide, there's groups for people over the age of 50 or 60, and within those groups they have, they go dancing, or there's lots of walking groups, people that can learn languages, or even travel together. It depends on the group, the types of interests a person has as to what group they join.
What did you say it's called?
It's called Meetup, all in one word.
Oh, Meetup.
Meetup.com.
Okay.
There's just so many, or people. Yeah, and I think it's a fantastic way for people to meet others.
Oh, that's a great tip, Lita. Thank you so much for the call. I really appreciate it. I'm going to give you a Wallace Cinemas family pass today.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
That's all right.
Thanks, Stacey.
That's all right. Catch a movie.
I often listen, and I've never phoned.
Oh.
And I thought, I can't believe I got through.
Oh, well, there you go.
Thank you.
First time you phone and you get a prize. Don't tell everyone that's how it works.
No. I won't. Thank you.
Enjoy it, Lita. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it. Mitcham, Mount Barker, Piccadilly, Noarlunga, wallace.com.au for all session times. 8223 0000 is the number to call. I'd love to get your thoughts on that study that women who have a close group of friends of 3 or more are less likely to develop heart disease, and men who have close family members of more than 3 or 8 family members, between 3 and 8 close family members are also less likely to develop heart disease. So I want to know from you, how do you make friends as you get older? 8223 0000. Up next, budget breakdown.
What makes an iconic South Australian business? It's a special combination showcased in FIVEAA's Best of SA.
The Adelaide Hills is known for thriving treescapes, and Balhanna Nurseries have spread that hills vibrancy to backyards across Adelaide since 1887. Top quality Balhanna Nurseries fruit, ornamental and old favourite trees bring gardens to life far and wide. Ask for Balhanna Nurseries at your local garden centre and take a piece of the hills home.
The Best of SA, thanks to major sponsor Maxima and Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Today I'm talking to Tracy, who's one of Arbor Vitae's many happy customers. Hi.
Hello, Lee.
When did you start taking Arbor Vitae and what for?
I'm a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years, which is a common issue for my fellow bakers. A friend suggested I tried Arbor Vitae, and I can't believe how well it's worked for me.
What benefits have you noticed from Arbor Vitae?
It's like a magic potion. I'm able to work with no pain. No stretch of the truth. It's worked so well for me.
Are you happy to recommend Arbor Vitae? And what would you tell our listeners about this product?
Absolutely. And I'd say to them that I felt my pain reside after the second bottle. So if you do try it and don't feel any changes from the first bottle, stick with it. It's also got a great berry-like flavour, which makes it easy to consume.
It's wonderful to hear how much of a positive impact it has had on your life. Thank you for your time, Tracy. Remember, for more information, visit arborvitae.com.au, arborvitae.com.au, stocked in chemists and health food stores. And remember, always read the label and follow the directions for use.
You've heard the phrase hands-on, right? That's what Exceed Solar is, a hands-on solar company. The owners are fully qualified electricians, and they've been installing solar panels, inverters and batteries all over SA for years. They know it all because they've seen it all firsthand, which makes them more qualified than most to know what's really going to work for you. Exceed Solar, built on knowledge, not a hard sell. Visit exceedsolar.com.au.
Stressed about replacing an obsolete industrial gear unit? SEW Eurodrive can promptly supply a modern drop-in replacement engineered to match crucial dimensions. SEW Eurodrive, driving Australian industry since 1982.
We've got Shane from Drummond Golf with us. Shane, you've made it so easy to improve your game with a room full of indoor simulators.
Yeah, Tommy, we think all golfers out there will love our Big Swing Golf indoor simulators at Drummond Golf Mile End. We have a room full of simulators to play golf and other sports like soccer, baseball, basketball and even football with your mates, rain, hail or shine.
It's great fun, isn't it, Shane? But more importantly, the simulators you have, they're an incredible tool for improving your game.
Tommy, you're dead right. They're a great training tool thanks to the overhead Ion 3 camera that shows video of your clubhead angle, your clubhead speed and spin rate.
So jump online and take a look at bigswinggolf.com.au, then call your mates and head to Drummond Golf Mile End.
If you're packing up your family to travel across the land will treat you different in a Dave Benson Caravan.
30 years in business and proudly Aussie made. You'll always find the van for you under cover and in the shade. We've got the largest indoor showroom, so come and say g'day. Whether it's a caravan or RV, visit DBC today. And if the rain's coming down sideways, don't let it wreck your plans, because our showroom's undercover at Dave Benson Caravans. FIVEAA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
At 20 minutes past 3 here on 5AA, breaking news. The state budget lockup has now concluded and our very own David Pemberthy was in there with all the other rabble of journalists. Penbo, hello.
G'day, Stacey. It's a good collective noun for people in our line of work. In fact, I was sitting next to one of our fellow rabble-rousers, Matthew Abraham. We found a spot together and got a few party pies into us. But yeah, it's...
Let me guess. He asked a question about fishing licences?
He did. And any keen anglers listening to your show can rest assured that due to Matt's vigilance, yet again, no recreational fishing licences here in South Australia, which is a good thing.
Great. He does ask it every year. It's not a budget day unless there's a fishing question from Matt Abraham. And we're not even joking about that. He quite literally gets up and asks every year.
Well, they're a big constituency, and you know a lot of people are wetting a line, so they need a voice inside the lockup too.
They do, and that they have. Hey, just when we thought, I thought we had heard everything about this budget already. It seemed like every announcement that could be made had been made in the lead up, but there was a big cost of living relief package announced.
Yeah, there was, and look, I think it's interesting to compare the debate that happened at the federal level a month or so ago when Jim Chalmers brought down his budget, where they brought in the power bill relief, and they did it in a way where it doesn't matter if you're, Clem from Clemsig on the pension or Clive Palmer living up there in Sanctuary Cove or Gina Reinhardt out in Western Australia. Everybody gets to $300, and a lot of people said, well, that doesn't make sense, it's not fair, and is there also a risk that it's going to be inflationary? Well, what Stephen Mulligan has done, and he made no bones about it, nor for that matter did the Premier when he spoke briefly today ahead of the Treasurer's presentation, was the relief that they have outlined, this flat one-off $240 payment roughly, it's only going to go to people who are well and truly on the bones of their backside, people who are on concession cards, people who've already received it. It's not something that, middle income earners are going to get. And I think that, frankly, is actually fair. I reckon in the current climate, if we're going to be looking at giving people a leg up, we should be making sure that it goes to, Ottaway and Davern Park rather than Unley Park and Medindi. It's about helping people who are genuinely not agonising like I was saying the other day about, olive oil was going up to $25 a bottle. Oh, well, I'll buy some anyway. The sort of people who say, I can't afford to buy something like olive oil. I can't afford to pay $10 for a cabbage. The people are making really massively hard, life-altering decisions deserve the money. And the other thing I reckon is good, and I know this was leaked in advance, but look, the abolition of stamp duty, for kids these days trying to get a foothold in the market, it's just beyond the joke how expensive houses have got.
Yeah.
And, for kids buying any new home, the fact that, if it's a new property, they're not going to have to pay stamp duty anymore regardless of how much the house costs, is I think, a terrific thing because, unless you're lucky enough to inherit property from your parents, I don't know how anyone's going to come up with a deposit these days.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, Dave. I think when I heard that, I thought that is great to expand it to have no value limit. Any first home buyer who's buying a new home, I guess that's the key, a new home, a new build, new townhouse, apartment, anything, you'll have your stamp duty waived. I'd love to see it for all first home buyers, whether it's new or existing. I know that we're trying to boost housing supply and we need more houses, so they're trying to encourage people to buy new. But I mean, at the moment, the builders we have and the developers cannot keep up with demand. So I don't know if buying a new house off the plan is actually going to mean more houses are built any quicker. So personally, I'd like to see it expanded to all first home buyers because, as you say, it's almost impossible, especially if you're just a single person wanting to get into the market. You need two incomes right now to be able to afford. It's really, really difficult.
Yeah, you do. And this is where I think, I think a lot of older people don't understand where they sort of, you hear people talk about, why do so many women have to put their kids in childcare? Well, the reality these days is that as a proportion of your income, a house, when I bought my first house, what was that, 1990, 2 in Torrensville.
Oh, don't
My
tell
wife
me.
and
I'm
I-
going to cry.
Well, we paid $112,000 for it. And but to think about it, sadly, I don't own it anymore. Neither does she. We got rid of it years ago. But
What's it worth?
do you think about that? Oh, God knows now. It'd probably be worth $800-900.
Exactly. In
Just around
30
near the
years.
City Theatre. Yeah. But the funny thing about Adelaide though, it's probably worth $800-900 now. But I reckon 5 years ago it was probably only still worth like $550.
Yeah,
so
that's
we
true.
have gone, and this is why Stephen Mulligan. I mean, I say this with respect. The Treasurer looks like more of a genius than he really is today. Because I'm not saying he's not smart, and I think we should give him credit for, unlike some other state Labor treasurers at the moment, he's not jacking up taxes or introducing new ones like they are over in Victoria. But the home buyers of South Australia deserve a lot of the credit for this surplus today, because the Treasury got more than $2 billion more than they thought they were going to get last year, because Adelaide property prices have gone so berserk. To actually earn $2.2 billion more, and that's with fewer houses being sold in the last 12 months than in the previous 12 months. But what changed was the value of the houses being sold in this last year was so big that suddenly Treasury's just totally awash with cash, that and getting a better than expected GST deal.
Yeah.
So suddenly we're in this position where, Steve Mulligan could barely open the door for wads of cash piling up every morning due to our surging property market.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, thanks so much, Dave. I know it's been a huge day. We appreciate your analysis and your time this afternoon, and looking forward to hearing more of it on the Brekkie program with you and Will tomorrow.
No worries at all. Thanks a lot, Stacey.
See Dave Pemberthy there. You can catch him from 6 o'clock on the Brekkie Show with Will, as I say, and we'll get some more reaction now. I'm going to go to some of the key industry, lobby, union groups around the state to get their review. I'm asking them all for a quick review. What's in it for you, and are you a winner or a loser? Let's start with Bernadette Mulholland from the Salaried Medical Officers Association. Hi, Bernadette.
Oh, hi. How you going,
Yeah,
Stacey?
good. What do you think? What's in the budget for you?
Well, look, beds are, of course, always welcome, and that's certainly in the budget, but we're also really interested in the staffing of those beds. You can't have beds without the extra staff, so really important that we sit down with government and work out how many staff and where are they coming from. It will be really useful to know over the coming days.
So did they announce money for staff or just the money for the beds?
I think it was only the money for the beds at the moment, so it's about sitting down and finding out. I'm sure that there's a pot there somewhere, Stacey. I'm hoping that you wouldn't have beds without the extra staffing, so it would be good to see that pot of money. And what we want to do is see the actual staff that are necessary for the beds, that's just not an afterthought. So really important we understand where those staff are coming from, but really appreciate the beds as well.
Okay, and I mean this with all respect, Bernadette. Out of today, are you a winner or a loser?
Look, we're still thinking about it, Stacey. We'll drill into the detail. What we want are the patients to be winners, so we hope that those extra beds make the patients be winners. At the moment, they haven't been, so anything that helps the patient will help the clinicians.
I'm not sure I got an answer there.
No.
That's all right. Lucky for you, I've got to move.
Cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Let's hope we get there.
All right. Should we call it a tentative winner?
Let's call it tentative.
A tentative winner. Okay, Bernadette Mulholland there. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
It's the Salaried Medical Officers Association. It's time for the 3:30 news headlines, but after headlines, don't worry, I've got plenty more industry groups to come. We'll find out what they think. Are they winners or are they losers?
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. Cost of living relief in today's state budget. More than 210,000 South Australians will be given a one-off cost of living concession payment of $243.90 this month as part of a $51.5 million package. Around $1 million worth of stolen goods have been discovered by chance at a Burton property. Police making other inquiries at the industrial site when they became suspicious and returned with a search warrant. The Governor-General is attending commemorations in Europe marking 80 years since the D-Day landings during World War II. And in sport, tonight the Socceroos meet Bangladesh in a World Cup qualifier in Melbourne. The FIVEAA forecast, partly cloudy this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow, 18. Right now it's 16. We'll have more news at 4 and as it happens on FIVEAA.
Imagine you have a dog bounding across your garden of lush green turf. He jumps, he rolls, he lays on his back, feet in the air and gives himself a good old scratch. A dog really knows how to appreciate grass. And you can appreciate yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it. And importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
Christmas in July just got wild. Holiday Wonders brings you an incredible Christmas in July experience at Monado Safari Park. Board our coach from the city and suburbs to a magical day, starting with morning tea before an exclusive African-style safari with plenty of highlights and heartwarming close-up encounters. Then it's on to Harndorf for a delicious three-course Christmas-themed lunch spread. The entire day, just $130 per person. For more and to book, visit holidaywonders.com.au.
This is RB Day for Supercraft Bedding with Tales from the Bedroom. When we started in 1873, there wasn't a lot of competition. Now there's too much choice, especially on that interweb. If the environment is important to you, the choice is easy. Supercraft Bedding makes a durable quality product that can be turned and flipped, which keeps them out of the tip. And we'll collect and recycle your old mattress. Supercraft Bedding, building better flippable beds. 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
Hi, it's Jane Riley. Fashion is a passion for me, but keeping up with trends that last 5 minutes is exhausting. If you prefer classic styles that never go out of date, go where I go, Sydney Street. For 35 years, this iconic SA fashion store has helped mums and daughters find their timeless style, and with over 60 quality brands on their racks, finding your fit is effortless. See the new stock at Sydney Street on Unley Road. Shop online at sydneystreet.com.au.
Can you imagine a world without rubbish?
A world where there is room to breathe and stretch out and play.
A world with enough room to live and laugh and love.
You have the power to make that world happen.
And that power is in your index finger.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Invite us into your house.
We'll only be there a few minutes.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength magicians.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1800gotjunk.com.au.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Local and experienced trade specialists.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Always relevant. 5AA. Always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
26 minutes to 4 here on 5AA on this budget day, and we are getting reaction from key stakeholders, industry groups and unions around the state to find out what is in the budget for them and if they consider themselves a winner or a loser. We just spoke to Bernadette Mulholland from the Salaried Medical Officers Association. She said they're tentative winners, but she wants to see if there's any more detail about numbers of staff for the extra beds that have been announced in hospitals. So beds have been announced, but she couldn't see any info about funding staff to sort out those beds. So they're a tentative winner. Leah Watkins is from the Ambulance Employees Association. Hi, Leah.
Good afternoon, Stacey. How are you?
Yeah, good. What's in the budget for you?
We've got some really exciting investment in terms of brand new ambulance stations at FIVEAA, Marion and Two Wells. We've got funding for electronic patient care records, which is fantastic and desperately needed because currently our ambos are still writing on, pen and paper with, paper-based patient care records for every patient. So that's incredibly inefficient and slow. and the final one is more staff for a clinical telephone assessment, which provides a bit of a boost in being able to refer patients for alternative care pathways that may avoid a hospital or on some occasions may even avoid an ambulance attendant. So it's fantastic.
Okay, so are you a winner or a loser?
Definitely a winner.
Leah Watkins, thank you for your time this afternoon. Let's go to Anna Moeller, the CEO of the Australian Hotels Association. Hi, Anna.
Hello, Stacey.
What about you? What's in the budget for hotels around the state? Anything?
Can I say whether we're a winner or loser straight up?
Go for it.
Winner.
Winner.
Definitely winner. Both directly and indirectly. So there's $14 million that's been announced over 4 years to expand the Business Events Fund, and that's mainly to focus on conference and business events, particularly during winter. To coin Game of Thrones, winter is coming and things are notoriously harder for the industry over that period, so that's really welcome. Extra funding for the Tour Down Under as well in its 25th year. Grants for small businesses for energy efficiencies. No new taxes, as has always been promised by this government. Only CPI rises at the most. Any funding for SAPOL towards extra police officers on the front line is certainly welcome by us, and I suspect the retail industry in general, given the issues with retail theft and antisocial behaviour that we've seen that's been affecting business. Anything that eases the cost of living, of course, for our patrons and for businesses as well is welcome. So there's some stuff in there around that. And anything, of course, that boosts housing stock so that we can house workers is welcome. So yes, I would say definitely winners.
All right. Anna Moeller, thank you for your time this afternoon. Let's go to Kendall Proud from the Australian Education Union of South Australia. Kendall, good afternoon.
Hi, Stacey.
What's in the budget for you?
We've got some great announcements in early childhood, some really significant investments into rolling out universal 3-year-old preschool, which the AU is really excited about. There's some money, $96.6 million over 4 years for growing the early childhood workforce, which the AU is excited to be consulting with the new Office for Early Childhood Development in making sure we've got a work-ready workforce for the 3-year-old preschool rollout. So that's wonderful for us.
Do you think that'll happen,
not
Kendall? Will we have enough staff in the industry to sort that out with the 3-year-old preschool?
We're currently having some shortages, but I guess the other piece of good news for us here is the investment of $2.3 billion overall from Commonwealth and state for Jobs for the Future, which is going to have a really wonderful impact on TAFE and the number of places for training up our new early childhood workforce.
All right. So, are you a winner or a loser today, Kendall?
A little bit of a mixed bag for us. Early childhood and TAFE, certainly winners. Schools, not so much.
Okay. Thank you. Kendall Proud, Vice President of the Australian Education Union of South Australia. Let's go to Bruce Gitte, the Executive Director of the Property Council of Australia here in SA. Bruce Gitte, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Stacey.
Winner or loser?
Well, there's a lot of money in there for housing, that's for sure. Obviously headlined by the abolition of stamp duty on newly built homes for first home buyers. That's a positive. We're starting to turn our mind to more supply-side policy. Obviously, there's a great demand for housing, and removing stamp duty will increase that demand. But the challenge really is getting the skills and actually bridging the gap between the cost of delivering the housing and what people can afford to pay. So, are we winners or losers? I think it's a mixed bag. There's a big housing roadmap event on the 25th of June, and our strong understanding is there'll be a series of announcements on that day, and I'll reserve judgment until then.
Oh, here's me thinking anyone in the property sector right now would be saying a winner because of the stamp duty announcements, but not just yet. You're not popping the champagne yet at the Property Council.
We're 1-0 up at half-time.
Classic former Socceroo gag. Bruce Jitte, thank you.
Thank you, Stacey.
See you. It's Bruce from the Property Council. Let's go to Daniel Gannon from the Retirement Living Council. Daniel Gannon, hello.
Stacey, good afternoon.
What about you, winner or a loser?
Well, I presume you're asking about the sector.
Yes.
Look, the sector, the retirement and seniors living sector, I think has probably come out just on the losing side at the moment. Look, there's almost $270 million in cost of living relief. Now, that's welcomed, especially for people who are on fixed income pensions. You know, when cost of living bounces around, it often has a really big impact on those people on fixed income pensions living in retirement villages. When it comes to housing and health investment in the budget, look, it's a double-edged sword. You know, there's $840 million or so invested into housing supply, you know, improving affordability, as you've just talked about with Bruce. On the stamp duty conversation that you've just been having, stamp duty relief is obviously wonderful for first home buyers, but the conversation that we're trying to have with governments at the moment is if we can encourage more older South Australians to right-size into accommodation that's better suited to their ageing needs, it serves a dual purpose. It puts them into housing that is better for their health, but it also frees up homes in the middle of the market for, you know, people who are really struggling to get into the housing market right now without overstimulating what is already a really hot construction market, a really hot property market, you know, with a supply chain that's already under incredible duress. So the jury's out for us when it comes to stamp duty relief. Governments might actually be better off putting in place you know, incentives for older people to look at right-sizing or downsizing as opposed to attaching it to stamp duty. $2.5 billion, obviously over 5 years into more hospital beds, ambulances, ambulance stations. This is obviously great news. I have noted that about $1.5 billion of that looks like it might be a cost blowout. But look, when it comes to retirement villages, Stacey, you know, compared to people not living in retirement communities, people who are living in these villages are experiencing better health outcomes anyway. So we'd like governments to think about more innovative ways of keeping people healthier and happier for longer, like looking at retirement villages. So jury's out for us when it comes to health, but overall, I think the retirement senior living sector is probably on the losing side.
Okay, Daniel Gannon, thank you for your time from the Retirement Living Council. Let's go to Paul Creedon from the Mental Health Coalition of South Australia. Paul, good afternoon to you.
Hi there.
What do you think? From the Mental Health Coalition's perspective, are you a winner or a loser?
No, I think we're definitely a loser in this budget. The budget itself really doesn't hit the mark in terms of where the unmet need is. So the Department of Health itself identified there were 19,000 people with critical mental health needs in South Australia whose needs were not being met, not even being remotely addressed, and that's not being touched on in this budget at all, unfortunately. We've seen an increased focus in hospital beds, which is, you know, an important part of the system. But unfortunately, the 19,000 people that my sector is focused on is actually the sector that keeps people out of hospital beds, stops them becoming so unwell that they need that kind of crisis level of support. Right. And it's unfortunate, we think, that the very thing that could actually help reduce ramping and help reduce the backlog in the emergency departments isn't being addressed in this budget. It's unfortunate.
And it's not much money either, Paul. I keep saying
No,
$125 million when you look at we're in $44 billion of debt by 2028. Surely a couple million could be thrown your way?
Well, $1.6 billion extra has been given to SA Health for the higher cost of support services. And so less than 10% of that is what would address the entire unmet need for mental health. And unfortunately, we've missed the mark again. Now, we do know that the Commonwealth Government and the state government around Australia, all the state governments have had discussions, but we do believe that we're still 2 or 3 years away from having any agreements about what that should look like. Meanwhile, we have critical shortages of staff, and we can't train staff until we know we've got jobs for them.
Yeah,
so,
and we all know with inflation that in a couple of years' time, $125 million, who knows how much that'll blow out to. Paul Creedon there from the Mental Health Coalition of South Australia. Thank you for your time this afternoon. We've got one more key industry group to get to this afternoon, and that's the Nursing and Midwifery Federation. Associate Professor Elizabeth DeBuzz is there. Good afternoon, Elizabeth.
Good afternoon to you and all your listeners.
Elizabeth, I mean this with all respect, but are you a winner or a loser today?
Look, we're winners overall in terms of bed capacity, but I think we really need to put in some better supports and capacity for the workforce needed to staff those beds, because a hospital bed is not much good if you press your call bell and no one comes.
That was a similar message from Bernadette Mulholland from the Salaried Medical Officers Association, and she said she was reserving some judgment. She said she's a tentative winner, but they were going back to look at the figures to make sure there was some money in there for staffing the beds. So from what you could see, money for beds but no money for staff.
That's right, but we're planning to meet with the Minister in the coming days and weeks to check on that further. But I think the reality is we cannot see any substantial workforce plan or workforce growth that would mean that those beds can be staffed appropriately. So I think what we can see is significant bed growth. That's fantastic. We've been calling for the growth in beds for a long time now, and I think we've been vindicated for our advocacy, because it seems that, the realisation is such that we do need additional beds in the system. What we can't see, we can also see, we can see additional funding and investment, and again, we warmly welcome it for operating costs and activity costs. However, we cannot see the growth in workforce that would be required to staff those beds. So on the government's material, it says that they're looking to add in additional beds equivalent to the capacity of the existing Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Now, that facility itself requires between 700 to 800 nurses and midwives to staff that facility. Most nurses and midwives work part-time, so you're really probably looking at a head count of about 1,000 nurses and midwives, and we cannot see anywhere in this budget an increase in the full-time equivalent or the funding that would be required in order to meet those beds. Now, that doesn't mean it can't be given or it won't be done, but that is definitely what we're looking for, because, as we keep saying, capital investment and investment in beds is wonderful. We're really very supportive, and we think it's the investment in health that has been badly needed for some time, but we do need to invest in the existing workforce to support them in what they're doing, and we need to nurture and grow the future workforce too.
All right, Elizabeth DeBars, thank you for your time this afternoon from the Nursing and Midwifery Federation. Well, mixed bag there. Seems like most of the health unions were cautiously optimistic. The AMBO's union, and they were very happy. They're a big winner. And the salaried medical officers and the nurses saying, well, we're winners tentatively, but there's money for beds and no money for staff for those beds. So that's an issue. Education union, preschool and early childhood winners, but schools losers. Property councils not popping the champagne just yet. What was it? 1-0 up at half-time, I think Bruce Jude said. Retirement Living Council, loser. Mental Health Coalition, loser out of this budget. So a bit of a mixed bag there. All right, 11 minutes to 4 here on 5AA. Taking your calls next. 8223 0000. What do you make of that? What do you think about this budget? You'll be getting some more information throughout the evening and news bulletins as well. But I want to hear your thoughts. 8223 0000. And I still have tickets to give away. I've still got Cirque du Soleil, so keep the phone ready.
Problem? We have a Houston.
Houston, snap on goal!
Port Adelaide Lethal Leg Dan Houston joins David and Will each week on 5AA Breakfast, thanks to Barreau Hotels. For the perfect meal, visit the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior or Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
Oh, I wish I hadn't forgotten my jumper. I'm freezing.
At Sip and Save, we want you to keep snug and enjoy life's adventures. That's why we're offering a chance to win one of 3 winter escapes valued at $10,000. Just purchase a specially marked Carlton Dry 24-pack for $51.99 and enter. Enjoy more toasty specials such as Wild Turkey 81 Proof Bourbon 700ml for $49.99. You can expect more from Sip and Save. More deals, more range, more service. Prices may vary in country areas. Terms and conditions apply.
Sip and Save.
There's more in store. Living in independently is an important part of life. For those who need accommodation in a thriving environment with support and care available, Always Care is always there. We'll match your loved one with suitable housemates and disability support workers to ensure they enjoy independent living in a supportive community. If you or a loved one requires accommodation with care, Always Care is NDIS approved and passionate about helping all live their life to the fullest. Find out more at alwayscare.com.au.
Get the garden you want at Garden Grove. At Garden Grove, there's indoor plants and pots, general hardware, and a great range of paving for that backyard renovation. Want some winter warmth too? You'll find loads of split and seasoned firewood right here at Garden Grove. Golden Grove Road, Golden Grove.
Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, the garden that I
Phone
want.
8251 1111 for delivery to all areas. Open 7 days.
Wella, wella, wella. Everybody's gonna buy Hoyt spices. Everyone's gonna save $1 or $2. Everybody's gonna buy Hoyt spices, yeah.
Look for Hoyt's most popular household herbs and spices at your supermarket. Whole black pepper, 4-colour peppercorn mix, oregano, mixed herbs, vanilla sugar, sesame seeds, poppy seeds. Refill your empty spice jars with value to spice up your kitchen. You'll be happy with Hoyt's at Coles, Woolworths and all good independent supermarkets.
Hoyt's spices, yeah.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Here's who you can support around Adelaide. After 106 years, Adelaide's own Archer and Holland are closing their doors. Before they do, they're offering 40% off all jewellery. Shop 26 City Cross. Good food and great times. That's the Griffins. The Griffins' new $12.50 seniors menu, Monday to Saturday for lunch. 38 High Marsh Square in the city. 5AA, supporting local business.
The high-tech home of tomorrow has a new name. It's not Siri or Alexa. It goes by the name Jim. Add data, security and complete connectivity to your home with Jim's antennas and security. Ask Jim how security cameras and motion sensors can give you peace of mind. And keep an eye on your house, yard, cars and sheds. Jim can do top brand 4-camera systems from just $1,595. For a high-tech home, just ask Jim. Hey Jim. Jim's antennas and security.com.au.
5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
7 minutes to 4 here on 5AA. We've been breaking down the budget for you this afternoon because lockup is finished and journalists around the state are desperately running back to newsrooms to get the reports on air, in the paper, on the radio. You've been hearing about it all afternoon here. So now I want to get your thoughts. 8223 0000 is the number. Ash is in Melrose Park. Hi, Ash.
Hi, Stacey.
What do you think?
I want to know, all the big unions that get a mention, but I want to hear is there anything for small business? We're all doing it hard out here.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I'm sure you haven't had a chance to have a look
we're the
yet.
one that pay most of the taxes, so...
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for the call, Ash. Really appreciate it. That's Ash in Melrose Park. If you've got thoughts on the budget, give me a ring. 8223 0000. Parkside Pirate has sent a text on 0448 08 1395. Hello, Parkside Pirate. Good to hear from you. I long for the day when the budget is taken away from politicians who are influenced by the necessity of re-election and given to the bureaucracy who see priorities independent of political influence. That's the text of the day, I think. Parkside Pirate. I think a lot of people would be much more comfortable with that idea. And as a result, I am giving you the 2 Temper Ease Hug pillows. These are pillows that are brand new. These are thanks to Harvey Norman, and David Beckham is the ambassador. So Parkside Pirate, well done to you. If Temper is good enough for Bex, it's good enough for you. I'm going to get you those 2 Temper Ease pillows. Thank you for your text and thank you for your calls this afternoon. I also still have tickets to give away to Cirque du Soleil's Lucia. It might have felt like a bit of a circus going through all those industry and lobby groups, but I want to send you to Cirque du Soleil's Lucia. So I've got a double pass to give away. 8223 0055 is the number. It arrives in Adelaide this Sunday. Breathtaking acrobatics under the iconic Big Top. Tickets are at cirquedusoleil.com.au/Lucia. Speaking of circus, Timmy G's not here in the studio. Timmy, where are you?
Were you saying I'm at the circus? Is that what you're saying?
I feel
part of the act.
I've got to back myself in. Yes, I'm saying that wherever you are, there will be a circus around you.
Well, that's true. There's going to be plenty of entertainment, no doubt about that. Got a good show coming up too. We're live at the Adelaide Oval. Of course, Adelaide Crows taking on Richmond tonight at 7 p.m. You'll hear it live and local on 5AA. But we've actually got the Big Freeze happening tonight. It's Big Freeze number 10, and I bought the beanie outside the gate, and it's just insane. It's a beautiful soft beanie, let me tell you. But we've got the lovely Beck Danaher coming in to just walk us through what they've done, how they've done it, and how this incredible journey keeps going for Neil Danaher. It's just amazing. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that chat. We've got the coach of Port Adelaide, Ken Hinckley, on. He's going to sort of review the halfway mark for Port Adelaide. We've got Adam Kelly from the Adelaide Crows, head of football. He's going to do the same for the Adelaide Crows and the lead into this game. Caroline Wilson's on every Thursday night. Sam Lonergan from Richmond. It's such a big show. You could almost call it a circus.
Yep, I would. And so it'll be a fun circus, though. Circuses, they're fun and they're always entertaining, and I think you'll get that as well this afternoon with Rowie and Timmy G on with you after 4. They'll also be on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream as well. Thank you so much for all of your calls and your texts today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
5AA Weekend Breakfast. Mike Keelan and Angie McBride.
I had a Toyota Land Cruiser. I was waiting at Prue, just ducked into the supermarket to get something, and I could see her walking to this away from me to another